everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie. I am a recent quadruple amputee. I acquired an infection in 2023 which led to sepsis, and amputations were necessary in order to save my life. The purpose of my channel is to take family and friends along for the ride on my recovery journey. So be sure to like this video and subscribe if you're interested in joining us. So today I'm going to share the meaning behind the name of my channel, Such Joy Amputee. I've had a few folks ask me that question, and I thought there was no better time than Holy Week to share the meaning behind the name of my channel. So my spiritual journey began when I was a child. I came from a Catholic family. We did go to church on occasion, but I wasn't a regular churchgoer. My mother always taught me to have a personal relationship with God and to talk directly to Him, and that I didn't need to be in a church in order to speak to Him. So from a very young age, I prayed and I had faith. I was lonely, sad, depressed, or anxious. My relationship with God blossomed. I struggled in 2021 and 2022 with my mental health. I spent a long time in a very dark place. During that time, I had to surrender, stop trying to figure out what was going on, and go with the flow and to trust that I was going to be okay. My relationship with God really blossomed. In 2023, in the beginning of the year, I started coming out of the darkness and my days were better. In April of 2023 is when I contracted the infection, which led to sepsis. Those of you who have had a pretty severe medical incident can attest to the craziness that goes on in an ICU when vitals are not stable, when there isn't an answer to the questions that the doctors are asking. Nobody's understanding the best course of action because everything is happening so quickly. I had many dreams when I was in my induced coma. Some of them were peaceful, and others I was anxious and scared and restless. One of the first dreams I had was just around sunset when everything is still and quiet. I was sitting by a pond. Someone sat beside me. I didn't have to see his face to know who he was. He said to me, "I'm with you, do not fear." And for me, that was extremely powerful because I didn't know where I was and I didn't know what was happening. When I was in other environments in my dreams that seemed chaotic and scary, and I was reminded to be still and to not worry. Another thing that happened while I was in the induced coma, my family played Christian music for me. And I heard them and every word they said while I was under. And I heard the music. I heard my mother's voice. She said to me, "Do not trust what you see, it isn't real." Once I woke up, I had asked her whether she had actually said that to me. And she doesn't remember saying that to me, but I can tell you very vividly that it was her voice. And that was also something I held on to when I went to very dark and scary places. Have faith that I was being carried through whatever it was I was going through. And I remember hearing the words of my mom saying, "Don't trust what you see." I carried that with me into every different dream sequence that I had while I was under. You know, I was airlifted from the trauma hospital to the burn unit. I remember the helicopter ride. I had this feeling that whoever received me, they were bad and that they were keeping me from my family and I had to get free and I had to get loose from them. I was scared. I didn't know what exactly was happening. I was not able to move my legs. I was not able to move my arms. It was almost like I was on a roller coaster with a bar over my legs. I could never move them. And now that I'm awake, it makes sense, but I had some level of understanding what was happening to me while I was out. I had dreams where I had passed away and my family never knew what happened to me because I had been lost to them and they couldn't find me. And those dreams brought me such deep sorrow. I went through frustration, sadness. I went through anger. I went through fear. All of those feelings while I was under in the induced coma. I may have opened an eye and seen them doing the wound care, and at one point I was afraid that they were harming me instead of helping me, but I was powerless to do anything about it. I couldn't speak and I couldn't get up and run, and I didn't know where I was. And I just held true to what I had been told, to know that I wasn't alone and to not be fearful and to not trust what I was seeing. I held on to those things no matter what dream sequence I was in or where I found myself. And I found myself in very hopeless, dark places at times. Towards the end of my induced coma, before I woke up, I had a second experience. There were chain link fences all around me, similar to tennis courts. There were some concrete benches and tables down the center of all the tennis courts on either side. And on the concrete benches, there were people playing games, board games, checkers. They were playing card games. Those of you who know me know that that's like my most favorite thing in the world. And I couldn't participate. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even speak. And I was so distraught. At that moment, I thought, I don't know where I am, but I don't want to be here anymore. And once I had that thought, God came to me a second time. And he asked me, do you want to live? And knowing I couldn't speak, I shook my head. That wasn't sufficient for him, I guess, because he repeated himself to me. Have you had enough? Are you ready to go with me, or do you want to live? And I said, I want to live. In that moment, I made my decision, and I had a voice, and I remember clearly being asked the question, and I remember my response, word for word. I opened my eyes, and my husband was right beside me. And I looked down and saw I had no hands and feet, and it all made sense to me. Everything clicked and connected. At that moment, I didn't have any feelings of anger, disappointment. I wasn't distraught with the reality. I didn't cry. I was grateful. I was so grateful for everything. And I just got ready for battle. My purpose is to share this story with as many people as possible, to let you know that no matter what our circumstances are, we can dance. We can dance in our heartache, and we can dance in our sorrow. I coded 3 times, and I had a 2% survival rate, and I made it. And the reason I made it is for this, so that I can offer encouragement and share perspective, my experience with others. Being happy every day is a choice that you can make, and being grateful is a choice that you can make. During those years that I battled with depression and anxiety, I wasn't grateful for anything. You know, my children were irritating. My job, my responsibilities were weights on my shoulder. The joy was taken from me for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I wasn't grateful for anything. This experience has changed me so much as a person. It has taught me to be grateful for everything. Every day from here on out is a bonus. I wouldn't have had these days. So when my kids are driving me nuts, it makes me happy to hear them being loud and playing. And before it, I would have asked them to be quiet, and I would have sent them outside, and it would have irritated me. But now I'm so grateful for every single day. That's the reason why I named my channel Such Joy Amputee, because no matter what our circumstances are, we can choose joy. Not worry, fear, self-pity, sorrow, to stand up and fight, and to look forward to tomorrow, and and to brush ourselves off and just keep trucking along. My meeting God was an extremely powerful experience, and it's changed me, and it's changed those that are very close to me. I would have gone through this a million times over if I knew that that would be the outcome. So my story is a happy one. I choose to be happy, and I choose to spread joy and love and happiness to others. So I hope and pray that everyone has a happy Easter, and I thank you so much for watching this video and for joining us on the journey. And I tell you to stay tuned because there's a lot more to come. Bye.